Scorpio, I'm here to give you some messages from Spirit where we look at your path work and how you can move forward in such a way that you come into alignment with your purpose and feel empowered as you really step forward into the future and what is coming into alignment with you now energetically. We look a little bit more esoterically with these reads, and this is for any strong, interesting, need to kind of bring the energy together a little bit. The energy might be a little scattered right now. Okay, focus the energy a little bit, Scorpio. This could be for any strong Scorpio placement: Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Pluto, prominent 8th house placement, or if you're Taurus rising, okay, that makes you a Scorpio Descendant. So let's see, what does Spirit want you to know at this time, Scorpio? I got that you got kind of like squirrel syndrome. That's what the focus is about. Whoa. And just as I said that, okay, I'm going to take these. I'm going to just set these aside. We'll look at those because you had two, let's see, no, 3 Pathfinder cards showed up. You have 3 different you have 3 different directions you could be pursuing right now. You have 3 different options. Is it door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? I feel like you're trying to make a decision. I just heard fork in the road. Interesting. Fork in the road. And just as I said fork in the road, I envision a chicken's foot. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Could this have something to do with a little root work? Interesting. Okay. This just coming in. All right. I also feel like fork in the road, chicken's foot also makes me think, why did the chicken cross the road? Well, to get to the other side. But you're sort of held up at the intersection right now. Maybe you're trying to make up your mind of one of several different options. I did get this squirrel energy, like you do have different options. I also feel like you have different ideas too, and you're trying to decide sort of where to focus your vision. But there's this need to kind of bring the energy in, Scorpio. Don't let it be distracted either. Is there outside energy that's distracting you, that's trying to cause you to lose your focus, Scorpio? And if so, why? What is the distraction about? What would you be focusing on if you weren't distracted? There's something key here, okay, that's coming in. So let's just check this out. What does Scorpio need to know at this time? Before I even get to cutting this, I want to look at these 3 cards that popped out that are all from the White Light Oracle, okay? And they all have a wolf on the back. So wolf spirit coming through very strongly for you. And it was 3:33 on the clock when I said that. So wolf is an ally for you right now. Wolf is here to help you tap into your instincts, your intuition, and to sense out the correct path for you to take. Woo, look at this. Beta of Spirit Wolf. So yes, please do align with wolf energy at this time, because it's going to really help illuminate a vision for you. And this is the direction that you're meant to follow on a heart level. It's like you're being asked to really align with the truth in your heart and what you feel in your heart. Okay, this is about really feeling fulfillment in the direction you want to head in. And you may already know what that direction is. Okay, but there might be something about it. It was 4:22 on the clock. So I would say yes. Okay, there might be something about it, though, that feels a little intimidating, okay, where you might have to break from the pack and be a bit of a lone wolf, try something really new to head in this direction. I feel like you really need to tune into this, okay? Maybe you need to let a little bit more of your wild side out. Maybe you're used to doing things in a certain formulaic way, or by the books, or you've been doing something a certain way, or sort of just following a particular path for a long time. And now you're really thinking of doing something out of pocket and shaking things up. And so it's sort of like you're also being asked, I feel, to like reclaim a bit of your feral nature, a little bit of wild spirit. So maybe, go out there, howl at the moon. You'd be surprised. You get out there and you let yourself howl at the moon. It does, like, it awakens something in you. It's very freeing. Okay, I love Tower of the Moon. I do it on the regular, and it's great if you can do it with a group of friends. So if you have like a group of friends who maybe need to break out of some ruts too, like get out there and howl together. And I feel like this is really about you awakening that more wild side, the side of you that is willing to do something a little different, you know, go your own way. Yes, and we have Shaktipat of Seahorse. So this has something to do with a creative direction, all right? Feels very inspired to you. And I do feel like it's out of your comfort zone, okay? What you're exploring here is way outside of your comfort zone. And yet, if you move forward in this direction, if you take the risk, it brings so much movement and it really roots you in your power because there's some creative vision you have that is calling you forward and it wants to be called in. Look at the direction that spiral is heading in. This wants to be brought in, all right? This is something you're calling in. You're calling your power back to you as well. Maybe you sort of let other people's opinions rule too much in the past, and now you're really choosing to invest in what inspires you, what feels right to you. And you may have been hesitating on this a little bit, okay? Some of you may have gotten some kind of advice from somebody about the best way to go about something. You have a totally different idea, okay? Or maybe your idea isn't what's trending or what's popular or what's in alignment with the algorithm. And it requires you to make a bold move in a new direction. And there's some danger in it. Could it flop? Yeah, but you're off to the race, okay? I do feel like 7:22 on the clock. It'll be lucky for you if you follow this, all right? There's a lot of strength. There's a lot of power in this. I also got there might be a fair amount of horsepower required to bring this thing into being too. I got this. You may need some energy. You may need some endurance. This might require you to take on some additional responsibilities. This is going to really require the investment of your time and energy. So you might want to look into bringing in something that can sort of like strengthen your nervous system, you know, especially if it's going to be under some additional demands. All right. Ashwagandha is excellent for that. It means strong like horse. All right. So if your energy's been feeling a little depleted, if your nervous system has felt a little bit frazzled, and yet you feel like you need to head in a direction that's calling you to sort of like, okay, you know, this is going to require a big push. So you're going to need a little bit more energy. It's an excellent adaptogen and it's pretty darn safe. I mean, always check with your healthcare provider before you try anything new, especially if you're already on some kind of medical protocol. But it's a pretty good way to go, okay? And it doesn't really have many contraindications with medications or anything like that. It's very supportive. It really builds up the yang energy in the body too, so that can help you with taking bold new action. And we have Aurora of Gamma here. And I feel like if you do this, okay, if you move in this creative direction, I do feel like it's you going off on your own path to do this, okay? So I feel like you're breaking away from some other people. I do. I feel this very strongly. In fact, there might be a couple people that you're leaving in the dust as you head in this direction. It's sort of like there's a couple people who can't go with you down this road, all right? But if you head down this direction, you're going to stand out, all right? There's something here about having something to be really proud of. It sort of shines a spotlight on something you bring to the table. And I think you're going to feel a healthy sense of pride by allowing yourself to kind of like diverge from the pack, you know, go your own way and believe in what your own instincts and intuition are telling you. All right, I'm really curious to get some more of this picture here and what this is about exactly. Spirals of manifestation. Look at this. You're actively manifesting a new direction for yourself now. I feel like whatever you were working on before, whatever the formula was, you know, it's like it can only take you to a certain level. And this has everything to do with really trusting your own intuition, your own creative vision, your own inspirations, your own ideas. Even though it may not be in alignment with what's popular, what's trending, it's asking you to kind of like be a little bit of a rebel, you know, kind of go your own way, strike out. It's going to give you some shining moment that you'll really be proud of. 11 on the clock, okay? This wants to come into alignment for you. And it says diving for light. And look, there's the seahorse imagery again. So seahorse is coming in as a totem for you. Seahorse is all about creativity. This is something creative that you want to bring forward. For some of you, you're bringing this creativity forward through a business project, something you're developing. It's an inspired idea you have for a new creative, innovative way to bring more business to something you already have established, or a new direction you want to strike out in, something you want to create. For others of you, this is actual creativity, you know. You want to have sort of a moment where you get to take center stage. Maybe you've been more used to playing a supporting role and you're like, no, it's time for me to kind of like put myself out there, you know, put myself center stage. Some of you may be trying out auditioning for a role, a part, and you're finding that you are going to get it, okay? You may have been nervous about doing this. Maybe you feel like you were a bit rusty, maybe perhaps because you were focusing on business objectives for a while. You sort of like let the creative side of yourself just sort of take a back seat. I feel like this is moving to the forefront here. There's some moment where you get like some spotlight, you know, shining on you, where you get recognized for something that you bring to the table. And it's a proud moment. You know, it's a healthy sense of pride. There's nothing wrong with having a healthy sense of pride. This is not about overly inflated ego. In fact, I do see a little bit of this piece here where there's modesty here too. You know, you're sort of like, who, me? It's got those vibes, it does. But I think it's going to feel really good to get the validation, you know, of your own intuitive prompting. There's something here about really trusting your own creative voice and vision. It's an empowerment for you, okay? But there's something that is left behind in the process. Yes, and you are diving deep for this thing, man. It's something that's meant to come into alignment for you. Diving for light. Okay, so this makes me think of the light first emerges within and then it's shared. You know, it's shared in a more public way where it's witnessed. Okay, so I feel like you had to overcome a lot of subconscious blocks to even consider stepping into this. All right. And it could also be through some very deep cathartic healing process. You uncovered this light that was there all along. It's just had been repressed, okay? And it caused some creative vision to start to bubble up within you. And there may be parts of yourself, okay? With the diving for light, there may be parts of yourself, old parts of yourself, old programmed parts of yourself that still sort of want to hold this back or hold it in because it challenges you on a certain level to allow yourself to really take that center stage and have your glowing moment, to really be seen in this creativity and recognized for what you bring to the table. Again, I feel like it's something that maybe you've kept more private, you know, or you haven't dipped your toes in this pool for quite a while, so it may feel like really diving into the deep end. But you're plucking this jewel from the sunken treasure and you're letting it come into the light to be witnessed. And it's really a beautiful thing, okay? So I think you've really just been trying to make a choice. Do I stay on the tried or true path, or do I, you know, branch out and kind of go rogue, you know, do something a little unexpected, something that shakes things up a bit? I feel like you're going to go ahead and shake it up a bit. All right. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, beatitude of sacred rapture. Okay, so this could also be something you're working in partnership on with another, all right? Some type of creative collaboration where you just feel a lot of harmony. This may even be some kind of music project you're working on, or there may be something that involves music that is coming together here. I just say that because I don't know, that's what I felt when I heard beatitude, you know. In my mind, it made me think of like laying down some tracks, you know. So maybe you're a singer, maybe you're a vocalist, maybe you work with percussion. Okay, this is just coming in as a possibility. But I do feel like this is some collaboration as well, where you know, maybe somebody is your muse and you're their muse too. There's sort of like this mirroring energy here where you're really able to bounce things off of each other. There might be a little bit of like, I don't know, you know, there could be a little bit of romance brewing here too as you dive into the creative process. I mean, that definitely can happen, right? I feel like there's something here where this is just synergy. That's what it's got. It's got like symbiosis. You know, you and this person are coming together. You're partnering with somebody on a creative project. In fact, this may be coming in. It may be just around the bend. I feel like somebody sees something in you and they feel like you do deserve to have the spotlight shine on you. And they're going to present you with an opportunity. And it does require you really stepping into your power to move into this opportunity, to move down this path, to move in this direction. But I feel like this person, there's some really wild synergy that happens when you bring your energies together. It makes a bit of magic happen. That's what I got. Okay. I also feel like this is you balancing the masculine and feminine aspects within yourself. In other words, you may be somebody who's more apt to kind of like sink into the feminine and sink into the creative process. But when it comes into really executing the masculine and taking the action and putting yourself out there, you know, that might have been something that you like held yourself back from in the past, or you let others have kind of like the lead in that regard and you just sort of like followed along, all right? Or if you're in a particular line of work, you just sort of went with what is the industry standard rather than really, you know, being an innovator, stepping out and doing something on your own. I feel like these aspects of yourself are coming into balance. And as they come into balance, the blending, you know, having the, you know, having a bit of the moxie, you know what I mean? Just having enough confidence to really step into your creative vision is really what makes the magic happen. It's like this is not meant to just stay as a fantasy or living inside of you. You're being asked to actualize it and bring it into being. One more cut here. Let's see what we got. Queen of the Nagas. Okay, so this is interesting because this also came in for Libra. So you could be a Scorpio that has a strong Libra placement, or you could be a Libra with a strong Scorpio placement. You could also be partnering with a Libra on this, all right? And there's something that, again, there's very transformational work happening here. Whatever you're doing, it does bring some kind of recognition. I heard stars on the rise. Okay, so it does draw some attention, but it has everything to do with you sort of like shedding an old skin, shedding an old identity, shedding an old way of doing things, and being willing to, you know, kind of, you know, hold court with it, step into this new identity. There's a lot of transmutation work that had to be done in order to really move in this direction. And I feel like you're on the precipice of it right now. All right. Right now, you're sort of in this, I'm picking up almost like this Two of Wands energy here. Okay. And here is this opportunity for transformation and to really do away with an old version of yourself and an old way of doing things, an old identity, an old way of being seen by others as well, because there is this piece that's coming in here about visibility. All right. And I think you're going to take this opportunity. I mean, it looks really good. We're going to do a shuffle here, but I'm going to set aside this cut to get your overarching theme at the end. But let's go ahead and get a shuffle through here and see any further information about this. Okay, interesting. You might want to go and spend some time by the sea if you do have access to the ocean. I'm noticing a lot of oceanic themes coming through for you here. For some of you, maybe this has to do with wanting to move. Maybe you're wanting to move by the coast if you don't currently. Maybe you recently went on a trip by the ocean and you just really loved the vibe, the energy there, and you can't stop thinking about it. You want to go back, okay? You keep reliving the memory of your time spent at the coast. Maybe it's a particular stretch of coast too. You're really wanting to get back there. I'm just noticing she's listening to the conch shell, and that always makes me think of memories, you know, something that's a fond memory, something that just a part of you just harmonizes with this thing. You're wanting to get back there. Okay. I feel if you're having this pull, like you want to get back to the coast, 2211, or there's a particular memory you have about, might have something to do specifically with conch shells too. I don't know why that's coming in, okay? But this is about listening for truth. You might need to bring something to an end, maybe an old way of life, an old living situation in order to move in a new direction. 2233, this is not for everybody, okay? But I do feel like this is coming in for somebody. There's too many master builder numbers around it, right? You might have visited a place, went on vacation to a place. I feel like it was by the sea. There could be like some conch shell imagery around that. Maybe you got a souvenir you brought home with you. Maybe you found a conch shell, okay? This is just coming in. There's something here. If you've been feeling like, I need to relocate there, I can't stop thinking about this place, I wish I could be there all the time, 2311. Don't hold yourself back from making that change. You're meant to. This will bring a lot more into alignment than you realize. It will open up a lot of opportunities for you. 2323. You shouldn't hesitate with this. You should take that action. If you're wanting to move, you should take that action. For others of you, this is about you getting out of your head and dropping into your heart and just really listening to your truth. You know, ask your heart, what do you really want to do? What are you really wanting to create here? What is the vision you're really wanting to step into? And then just listen and trust what comes through. There's something about really honoring your own truth in this situation. And it's hard to see here, but you might see a little bit in the background there. There is a flower of life in the background here. So you might want to work with sacred geometry a bit around this. You might have a flower of life symbol coming in specifically. Maybe it's something you've thought of integrating in like a logo or something in relation to some project you're working on. Flower of life is coming forward very strongly here, okay? You're meant to bring this into creation, okay? You got to trust your truth. And maybe it seems like it's a little bit out there. This might have been something you downloaded, maybe because it's coming from your intuition or some kind of inspired vision that you're sort of like negating it a little bit, because you might be somebody who tends to be a little bit more practical, you know, especially when it comes to what you invest in. But I think you're being asked to really trust the vision and step into it. Yes, look at this, the sun. This puts you in the spotlight. This makes things grow in your life. This is your happiness that wants to come in, right? And it's kind of about releasing the cords of attachment to other people's ideas, other people's visions, other people's dreams. So you can really invest in what feels right to you, what builds light for you in your life. You may also want to be in a place where it's just more sunny, the weather's better, you know. Maybe you're in a place where it tends to be kind of overcast or cooler than you would like, you know. Maybe you live up north, you want to head more down south, okay? This energy coming in. Some of you live, you know, in the south and you want to be on the coast, you know, you're looking at moving to the west coast, or you're looking at moving to the east coast, or you're looking to move near a stretch of the south where you actually have access to the ocean. There is this piece about the ocean coming through really strongly. I think the ocean's calling you. And when I think of ocean, I don't just think of the source, and I think of the place that we all, you know, when we're looking at creation, we all came from that cauldron of creation. But I also feel like it's about purification. And there's something here that does need to be shed to bring healing. That's a way you have a tendency to hold yourself back or not let yourself really step into that spotlight and be seen. And you could work with 417 hertz to help you bring balance in this regard. But with that sun coming in, this will be successful. This will bring you happiness. You are meant to move forward in this direction, and it will shine a spotlight on you. But you have to be willing to step out of the shadows and really step into the light and embrace this, okay? So let me see what your overarching theme is here. And you did have a Sacred Rebels card, okay? So I feel you are meant to be a little bit of a rebel. I think it's important right now, all right? We got restore and replenish coming in. So just take a little time to sort of ground your energy, get quiet. There is this piece here about listening for the truth. So I did pick up that sort of like squirrel energy around you, this distractionary energy, outside opinions, you know, not sure what direction. I think it might help you first to kind of just really ground your energy, maybe create some space for yourself, and just let yourself really sink into what you're feeling and what feels right to you. And maybe also get some ideas about how you can ground this vision, because whatever it is, it does feel like it's calling you to really move into expansion. And so it may feel very big, and that may cause you to sort of like get a little scattered with the energy because you may already have a lot on your plate that you're taking care of right now. So this is about just sort of taking a moment here to get really grounded, rooted in your vision, aligned with your truth, and then bringing what you learn forward and allowing it to see the light of day. And from there, it's just going to be steady growth. Do it. You're meant to shine, not meant to keep that light inside of you. You're meant to share it with others. And so much growth is going to come from it.